Hello, people on the internet watching videos that have to do with automobiles. Welcome to this. My 1974 RA21 Toyota Celica with a big old V8 stuffed into it. What I'm about to show you over the next couple months on this YouTube channel is why it is so expensive to restore a car and why it seems like it takes forever in the final stages. I may have possibly gone overkill with the taping so I wouldn't get paint overspray in here. To put this into perspective, if you were to go to a shop and ask for this exact car to get built the way I am doing it in these videos, you would expect to pay anywhere between $100,000 and $125,000. Okay, brand new trunk gasket for the car. Oh, this is nice and soft. I have the underside of the trunk lid prepped for paint, but I'm waiting to do that until I do the engine bay because it's going to get a satin finish on it. There are only two possible ways in which you can install the trunk weather stripping. And of course, for the first time around, I had to install it the incorrect way. My hands are like throbbing from doing this. That sounded gross. After about 20 minutes of arthritis-inducing struggling with trying to shove this thing on the incorrect way, I decided to resort to the internet to try to find a picture of the correct installation of the trunk gasket. There are little metal teeth that are inside the rubber that bite down on the sheet metal around the trunk opening, and you have to make sure that you get those perfectly centered or else it will not seat correctly. And also you have to make sure it's facing the correct direction so that it shuts. As much as I love symmetry, it didn't make much sense to put the seam in the middle because this is a high traffic, high wear area, or up here because water could pool up there. So I decided to make the break over here on the side towards the sharper edge where it's least likely for water to pool up. To account for any shrink back, I'm gonna make my cut a little advanced. I always trim off more later. There we go, nice clean seam. You can even put a little bit of rubber cement on there and make it perfect if I wanted to. Yes, I saw the piece of tape. Dangerousing, doing what dumb people do to get injured. These are for the focus. Ow! My fucking elbow. Maybe? Not that one. Oh, that's an abyss. I know it's in one of these yellow ones. Oh, winner, winner. Not what I was looking for. This one? Yeah, there we go. Pillars, taillights. When I first got this car, it was clearly in good shape for its age. However, when you look at the new paint on it now, the matte black paint around the edge of the taillight panel is chipping and faded in most of the spots. The driver's side one, you can see there's all kinds of gold overspray from when the car was repainted at one point in time in its life, and the chrome foil plating is peeling right here, and you can see the yellow plastic underneath. However, it's such a tiny area that I think I can repair it, and overall, I think I can make these look brand new again. Well, hey, look at that. You can buy a brand new old stock set for only $4,600. That's a steal. Let's see how I can make these look. Wow, these are incredible. I literally just cleaned it with some Plexus. Look at that, there's like no scratches in the actual portion you see. This all has trim around it. It's the little stuff like this that rapidly add up and inflate the cost of a vehicle restoration when you take it to a shop to do it for you. And spending dozens of hours masking off taillights is not exactly profitable for a business to do, nor is it usually profitable for a YouTuber to make automotive content showing stuff like this, because most people just want to see an LS swap in 20 seconds and then burnouts in engines blowing up. A day later, they are taped off. It didn't take a day, but it is the next day. A little bit of wax and grease. Make sure I get all the oils from my fingers off. Having nails is an absolute win for getting stuff like that. I've been putting this part off for so long now, just because I dread doing it. I have bad experiences with these things. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, someone in the comments will fill you in on what happened. Oh, I hate this part. This makes me so nervous. I only want to stick this where it's supposed to go, as he said. Oh, there's no not gross way to do this. Luckily, Ragnar was my guinea pig for doing this, so I already got experience. Sorry, Tony. Oh, I gotta stretch that super far. I remember seeing these things all the time as a kid growing up in like middle school and not knowing what the adult purpose was for, and now I know. It's for this. Okay, back on the other arts and crafts project. It's been about 2 hours. I can probably peel the tape off now. According to the can, this stuff takes 48 hours to fully cure, but my impatience says otherwise. Black looks great. Chrome part is the hard part. I can't really use metal polish on this because it's plastic with chrome plating on it, and it's too small to get a mini buffer on here without risking making a mess. It's not often I get stumped with a card detailing situation, but I'm actually a little stumped on this. This isn't really dark detailing though, this is more restoration. Plastic with chrome coating is just a fickle thing to have to work with. It doesn't age well, although I give this one credit for lasting as long as it did. The thing that burnt me out on the Beetle restoration was poor quality aftermarket reproduction parts that just fit terrible, and the overall quality was junk. This car, you don't have that problem because there is no reproduction parts. You either put OEM on or you're just screwed. Wow. It's actually polishing out pretty nice. While it is possible to take metal objects to chrome shops to have them refinished, plastic, on the other hand, is done a different process. I can't tell you what that process is because I'm not a chemist. But I can tell you from experience of calling that they don't do plastic pieces. No one is ever gonna see these, but that doesn't matter. Backside of the housing's gotta get cleaned. This may seem weird and counterintuitive to what I usually do, but I felt the red oxide primer overspray should stay as a level of patina. I super lucked out in the fact that the taillight gaskets on both these taillights are in great condition. Center portion, wax and grease. A center panel, the ST logo is painted white, just like the vinyl top was on there. I gotta keep that. It's a little homage to the way the car was before. Which is good because these are discontinued, and the only aftermarket ones I found is just someone literally cut out the shape out of adhesive foam. So I'm amazed that this has survived. I don't want to be the reason it doesn't anymore. There you go. Got it. The little rubber gaskets on the back side. Perfect. Scuff this up. I want this to match perfectly with the taillights, and I'm gonna use the same exact paint, that way it does. That thing was so faded underneath the ST logo. It needed this bad. If you're wondering why I'm not using the paint booth, it's because there's a car in it. After learning how to quote unquote paint cars professionally in a paint booth with a paint gun, I've taken some of those techniques and applied them to what I do with rattle cans. A lot of people just throw rattle cans out the door as if you don't need to use any skill or technique whatsoever, but that's not the case, and it really does pay off to do it better. I gotta harvest some more parts off my dad's truck. Don't need a heat gun because this thing's been sitting in the sun all day. Okay. Taillight trim panel. By polishing this up rather than replacing it, because you can still get new old stock emblems like this, it's gonna show that this car is still a survivor car, not something that's just merely been restored. I don't know if that makes any sense to some of you, but to me it does. Welcome to the third day in this video. Are you starting to get an idea of the amount of time it takes to restore a car like this? If I wasn't making YouTube videos out of this stuff and filming and editing while I work, this definitely would not have taken 3 days, but you get the idea. Definitely do not want to over tighten these. I wonder if this is what the car would have looked like back when the guy bought it new. Nice shiny black plastic and glossy paint. To help out the taillight gaskets, I'm gonna put some gasket rejuvenation gooey stuff. I'd rather have these original gaskets that are in pretty good shape than a set of homemade ones that are just not. I'll argue that this is the most transformative step on this car build. It's putting the taillights back on. It's gonna add such a pop of color back here. I didn't touch up the spot where the chrome is worn away because I don't have the stuff that I ordered to do that, but I don't need them off the car to fix that. Actually, I can't even really see it, but I'll still do it. Self-explanatory. Yep, that is. Door sills, nope. Driver's side, taillight, steering column, passenger taillight. There we go. I'm so excited. I love lights. It's weird that these are silver zinc and the ones in the center are gold zinc. And that's just how it was. I personally am obsessed with the USDM taillights. I just love the little cube look and the amber. The JDM ones don't have that. It's just all red. That stuff I put on the weather stripping, it smells like fruity cereal, like Fruit Loops. Or Apple Jacks, kind of. And this is why I advocate starting with a clean car to do something like this with, because look at these tail. I think this looks brand new. You can't tell me that does not absolutely transform the look of the back of this car, having those back on there. I feel like taillights are more important than headlights, even though headlights have the ability to sometimes make the owner of the car look like their car. You know what I'm talking about. There's some people that just straight up look like their car. Like some people look like their dog. Some people also look like their car. I'm gonna get back to work now. Speaking of lights, I have a surprise. This arrived in the mail yesterday. This was insanely difficult to find, so I found 2 of them. I have an extra now. I want to make sure this thing is not going anywhere. On top of that little gem, another package arrived for it. These were kind of expensive, but I'm pretty sure someone's gonna be thankful that I got these for it. Yeah. Custom, high quality floor mats. It has tan borders to match the stitching on the interior. Oh yeah, it's like almost the same as the tan stitching in the seat. And yes, I got matching ones for the rear. Now I can film the rest of the car view. It's back in action. Now this is where stuff is gonna start getting difficult on this project. All the stainless. Thankfully for me, all of these trim pieces are made out of stainless steel. However, they're full of tiny little dings and bends, and they're all discontinued and super rare. These are probably in the best condition you're gonna find these in. I need to order some of this adhesive foam stripping so I can redo all of this. 1/4 inch. It makes no sense to me that this stuff would be adhesive up here because it's held in with screws. And if that was adhesive, I would have never taken this off without destroying it and bending it to crap. Probably wondering why I peeled this thing off the Tundra. And that's something good to wonder. I don't know why I peeled it off when I did. What I need to do now has nothing to do with anything I did in the first part of this video. But there's a plan going on up inside here that requires discombobulation. I don't think that's the way you use discombobulation in a sentence. Everything I need to do up there right now is waiting on parts. So, 100 mil, 65, 110. I don't even, this side is the frame, that's probably good. In order for you to understand what I'm about to do now, you have to first understand how this even works. This 4-link suspension with a panhard bar, this long bar at the back, parallel with the axle, that's the panhard bar. Don't worry about that right now. What you need to worry about is these links right here. The reason why Charlie fabricated these subframe connectors that run up above the floor pan here and tie into this area right above the jack pad is to strengthen the car in the middle so it doesn't buckle or fold in half from all the extra torques. As the engine produces torque and it tries to accelerate, these lower rods right here are going to want to push forward as this axle tries to rotate under torque. That's why this is so beefed up and tied into the subframe right here. You can get a better look at it in this angle. Also, there's a lot more welding that has to take place down here still. So as that axle tries to rotate this way and push those lower links forward as its torque is being applied, those upper links on the top of the axle are going to want to pull. This is rotating this way, which means the area in which this bolt goes through the upper link needs to be beefed up on the back side to prevent it from pulling this little barnacle off, which means I must now be my own fabric cobbler. My old one is an engineer cobbler. Time for some CAD board design. CAD. It looks like a piece of bread. There's already a plate here. That'd be neat if I could have tied into that. 80 and 85 at the top. Right. So this should slide in underneath that line. And that goes right there. Oh, I gotta trim it a little bit. Tape that. That. The hell is this stuck to the tire? This has to happen before I can do anything else up in the interior because I don't want to set the brand new carpet on fire if I'm doing welding underneath here. There's a method to this madness. As far as this guy goes, I'm gonna finish up the car view on it, hopefully either this week or the week after, and I should be able to announce the winner on it soon. I'll find out by the time the next video comes out when I can do that. Now obviously I got a lot more videos on this thing coming, and I might throw in a wild card or two in the next couple weeks. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.